Remember, my excellent drivers, you are responsible for the safe use of your vehicle and abiding by the state or territory rules that you are driving in, and that, of course, includes mobile phone usage.
Welcome to the Learn to Drive podcast. I'm your host, Liz Lafferty, and I'm here to guide you through the twists and turns of learning to drive with a few laughs along the way. So whether you're a newbie trying to figure out why the car keeps beeping at you, or a seasoned road warrior who still can't parallel park without causing a minor traffic jam, I've got you covered. So buckle up, check those mirrors, and let's hit the road to becoming a more confident and happier driver. Hello and welcome to the Art of Confident Driving. I'm your host, Liz Lafferty, and I'm looking forward to today. This is all about your tyres and how if you keep them well, they'll last you a lot longer. Okay guys, so tyres are a big deal on a car. They're the only thing keeping you between the body of the car and the road, so you really do want to take very good care of them. Over the years, I think I've replaced, we'd be talking a couple of hundred tyres maybe. So it's always important that we know just some basics about what we need to do. So you really do need to, first of all, know the pressure that your tyres should be having, and that you can find if you open up your driver's side door. Just on the inside of the door frame there, you'll find a recommended tyre pressure. So I always keep it at least 2 or 3 above. I've actually had tyre experts say they have it 5 above. So, hey, you're more than welcome to give that a shot. And I do recommend if you're going to do long distance driving to definitely be a bit more generous and give it a bit more air. So, yeah, I'd definitely be going 3 to 5 PSI more if you're going to do long distance driving, because the tyres will get pretty hot and they might lose a bit of air. So yeah, check your tyre pressure. Again, I don't recommend having it on their recommended, but hey, if you want to be precise and do what the manufacturer says, do that. But we live in a hot country here in Australia with hot roads. Yeah, you might be more likely to lose a little bit of your air pressure on those hot roads. So just a little bit above is always good. All right, the tread. Now this is important and it's also legal. You are legally required to have enough so that the tyres do grip well to the road. So you need to replace your tyres when the tread is less than 2 millimetres. Now that should be pretty standard across most states in Australia, and I would even say the world. But please always check your state or territory road rules for that. There should be information on the government website of the state or territory that you're in. So yeah, please make sure the tread is good. Rotating tyres. Now, not a lot of people think about this, but we want to actually rotate the tyres so that it's evenly spread with the wear, so that you're not replacing, your front left tyre and that's the only one you're replacing. So rotate the tyres if you can. Now, this next one is a very important one. So I want you to listen up really carefully to this one. Wheel alignment. So how do you know if you need a wheel alignment? So if you've gone through a pothole or hit a curb really hard or gone up a driveway which has got a very strong entrance which really goes hard on the suspension, you could need a wheel alignment. Now, the way to check it, you need to find a beautifully dead flat road. Start accelerating just gently. You don't need to go too fast at all for this. Maybe 15 is plenty, maybe 20. You don't need fast. So when you're on this beautiful flat road, make sure your car is straight and make sure you're heading straight. And then, I know this is naughty, but this is the only way I know of checking because I don't have a tyre shop at home. So the only way of checking if you need a wheel alignment, take your hands off the wheel. Okay, but please keep your hands very close in case it drifts quickly. So yeah, if the vehicle starts drifting left or right, you absolutely need a wheel alignment. Okay, the car should be traveling in a straight line when you're on a dead flat road. Okay, and that is really important because you don't want to be drifting at high speeds. Okay. Balancing the wheels. So that again, that's definitely a tyre repair shop problem. That's not something that a lot of people know how to do. And that means that one side of the tyre might be a bit heavier than the other. So you then need to get those little weights put on the tyres to get them balanced. Now, as for what we can do if we're not employees of a tyre shop, we can inspect our own tyres. So we want to check for damage. We want to check for cracks or tears or objects. And as you can see by the photo I've put, I've had them. I'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, always have a quick look and see what your tyres are doing. Is there a problem with them? And again, just take it to the tyre shop and get them to give you some advice, okay? Using the right tyres. So most of the time, if you do take it to a tyre shop, they will already know what your car needs for its tyres, the size and all that sort of thing. So that should be done for you. Now, if you're going to do it on your own, of course, you'd need to look it up. Not always the right tyres are on the right car. So again, look at the manufacturer, ask yourself, what are the manufacturer recommending? Because that's probably what I should be using. Now, of course, a lot of people get mag tyres and lovely, beautiful tyres. That's another story, okay? Again, they would have to be safe for the vehicle to be on the roads, and it's not going to interfere with the control of the vehicle, okay? Your spare tyres. Now, that's a good one. I'm very lucky with my driving school car that I have still got a full-size spare. Yay! I love my full-sized tyre spare. It's fabulous. That way I know if I do get a puncture, I can just easily swap it and I can still do the lessons for the day. But for a lot of people these days, we have either the puncture repair kit, which, oh my goodness, even I don't know how to use that yet. I've got to look it all up. But you will need to check that out. If you've got one of those, you will need to either have a look up on YouTube maybe, but certainly the manufacturer, so it will be in your owner's manual, which should be sitting in your glove box, hopefully not gathering dust. Hopefully you have a read of that every now and then to see a few things that you may not know about your car. So it will certainly tell you how to do that. Otherwise, the emergency spare, which is a horrible little yellow thing. Now, those little emergency spares, or space saver, they're often called, they're not good for a car. They are literally just to get you from where you lost your tyre to the tyre shop to get a repair on the proper tyre. You should not be driving around on those tyres. It can do damage to your suspension and it will get the vehicle out of alignment. So please don't be using the space saver or that funny yellow tyre to be driving around at all. It should be absolute minimum, guys, okay? So please don't be driving on it. It's not good for the car. Dust caps, the valve caps, do make sure that they're on there. They are stopping dust and water and debris from getting in the tyre, which again will shorten the life of the tyre. So they are your absolute basics. That's how to take care of a tyre. Now I'm going to tell you how to not get into trouble in the first place. So as long as you know how to take care of the tyre, that's one problem done. But now we're going to talk about one of my favourite rules when I'm driving with my students, and that is do not drive on anything that isn't road. Okay? That's one of my favourite rules. So if it's not road, don't touch it. And what I mean by that is we could be driving down a road and there could be, a small clump of leaves on the ground. You don't know what is under those leaves. I know it seems crazy, like they're leaves, Liz. Yeah, but how do you know? There could be a screw underneath there, as you can see by the 2 coach screws that were in my tyres. Potholes is also in that list. You do not want to go into a pothole. Now, I've had students when we've done mock tests, they can see a pothole coming and they say, should I go around? I'm like, absolutely. So even if you are on a driving test and you have to swerve to get away from putting your poor car into a pothole, just say it. Say, sorry, I've got to go around the pothole. So if you are doing something unusual and it's going over unbroken lines or something like that, look again, please check with your state or territory road rules. But I would say that the examiner would be more impressed that you're not hurting your car than going too close to a solid line. So let's take the risk and say, I'm not going to hurt my car by going through a pothole. I'm going to go around it. That also includes puddles. right? So big puddles can actually, again, hide things. We don't know what's in there. So you really should try and avoid going through big puddles. Dirt on the side of the road, which can turn into mud. And that's how I got one of my coach screws in there. One of my students, she pulled into the curb very close to a construction site. They were building a new house and we pulled in, we're legal and far enough away from the driveway. But unfortunately, I didn't notice it. She didn't notice it. There was a small little patch of mud. And in that mud was one of those big, horrible coach screws that took me off the road for that afternoon. Why did I lose an afternoon of work, I hear you ask? Well, because I hadn't checked my spare tyre had enough air in it. So that's another tip I'm passing on that I'd learnt the hard way. Do check the air pressure in your spare tyre. So yeah, it wasn't great, but hey, it happened. So that's why, again, my rule is if it's not road, don't drive on it. Okay. So don't drive on twigs. Don't drive on cups that are left on the road. And, I'm talking the plastic cups or the paper cups. Again, you don't know what somebody shoved in that cup. You'd never know. So just always assume something bad will happen and try and avoid it if at all possible. Okay. The other little thing which a lot of people aren't aware of, when you go to park, you really shouldn't be wedging your tyres up against that barrier. Okay, a lot of people, they come rolling into a parking spot and then when they hit whatever the barrier is, whether it's plastic or concrete, they leave the tyre there so it's actually indented. Again, that's not great for your tyre. So please be mindful of those things and just say, yeah, I want my tyres to last longer. Hey, they're getting more expensive, so I'm going to treat them really well. Get the most value out of that rather high price that we're all paying these days for tyres. Maybe one day we'll get Mr. Elon Musk to figure out how tyres can last a bit longer. But yeah, until then, the tyre manufacturers are going to be happy. So look, I want you guys to be happy. I want you guys to be able to get the most out of your tyres. So yeah, take good care of them. Don't be afraid to check them out every now and then. Don't leave it for 6 months. Check them out. You really should check them out at least once a month for your tyre pressure and for your tyre tread. All right? So yeah, guys, take good care of your car and it will take very good care of you. All right, my friends, I'll catch you next time. Best wishes for happy and safe driving. See you on the roads. And my full driving lessons are available on Apple Podcasts and the artofconfidentdriving.com website, where you will get access to instructional videos. Remember to relax and enjoy the drive. See you next time.